Welcome back to Worst Take, and welcome back to another Power Rankings podcast. This is our second edition of the Power Rankings. First edition did pretty well on YouTube, and got some pretty strong reactions to a couple of our rankings for sure. I think I got the brunt of it, to be honest. I got the brunt of the criticism, but
the fact that Cleveland undefeated Cavs weren't number one, I think that was well deserving.
I mean, I think it was a little more egregious that you didn't have the Celtics in your top two, but I digress. I digress. That's what.
I don't think that was that crazy, honestly. But
I'm the only one that called Houston. I'm just saying. Y'all called me crazy for that. Now look at them.
We'll give you that.
I'll give you respect, Zach. That was a genius take. You are not a genius, but that was a genius take.
Can I get some credit for Memphis, by the way?
No.
Okay. No. Oh, come on. I had come on.
No.
Oh, whatever.
All the signs were there. I just couldn't justify Crash Out Ja being a good player, but he is proven wrong. But I'm going to give Ja the credit for that one. I'm sorry, Arman.
Oh, but you get the credit for the Rockets' defense and Jalen Green.
Yes,
okay,
absolutely.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
absolutely,
okay.
I do. Okay. Absolutely, I do.
Oh no, for sure. Let's start off. Who wants to start off with their number one?
Should be a unanimous. I want Armand to go last because I have a feeling he doesn't have the same one. Me and Cam probably do, just based off of ball knowledgers. I have a feeling me and Cameron have the same one. Okay, but I feel like Armand's gonna have a different one, so I want you to go last.
Okay, Cam, I feel like Cam's list, looking back, was the best. So Cam, you can go first.
Number one on my list, I talked about them in the last pod a lot. Is the OKC Thunder. I mean, everything I said about them last time. They're great 5-out defense. Their guard defense, most deflections in the league, I'm pretty sure. I mean, to me, they are the team that's really gonna be the team to go to the finals in the West. So, it goes without saying, OKC.
See, I mean, if I could I kind of want to do like a side bet on Cameron's list predictions because if I could, I'm starting out 1 for 1 because as do I on my list. 20-5 as of yesterday. Did they play today?
Yes. They're currently about to lose to the Bucks in the NBA Cup. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this was before the game started.
No, this is not before. I literally adjusted my list like 10 minutes ago based on what's happening.
I don't care. Number one, I still have. Yeah, I don't care. My number one team in the NBA as of now is the Oklahoma City Thunder for all the reasons that Cam has explained. I mean, there's really nobody on the Thunder that I don't like when it comes to all-around play. Shout out J-Dub, AZ graduate. Shout out Luke Dort, former Sun Devil. I mean, there's just all the right reasons to love OKC. They got rid of the Giddey Pool and they brought in headband Kobe, Alex Caruso. We're good, man. They're doing pretty good.
I mean, they are really good. I wanted to put them number one. I did, but they lost this game.
How did I know? He was going to do that?
I'm sorry. They lost.
Oh yeah.
They lost today. That
Milwaukee there. You literally called it.
Okay.
Then go ahead and put Milwaukee
I'm not going to put Milwaukee there. That's not what I'm saying.
Hey, they're the ones who beat them. Oh
Lord.
There should be number one then.
Okay.
He had a point though. He did call you out before we even.
I knew he was gonna feel that way. That's fine. But I'm going off of everything. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. They were 9-1 in their last 10. They're playing incredibly well, and it's not going to take long for me to get to the OKC Thunder. And I was going to put them number one if they won today. Literally, I was going to put them number one if they won today, but they lost to the Bucks. That's really what it comes down to. Obviously, I'm not putting the Bucks number one. Okay. And again, you're going to be pissed off because it's not the Cavaliers either at number one. It's the Boston Celtics still for me at number one. Okay. And Zach, before you get to, the Cavs beat them last time they played, okay, I'm going to give respect to the guy that you love and is a great player, Jaylen Brown. Last time that they played and the Cavaliers won that game, Jaylen Brown was not playing. Neither was Derek White. And they still only lost by, I believe, like 3 points. Okay? Before that, with a fully healthy team, the Celtics won that game. So I think for me, that's why I clearly have the Celtics above the Cavs right now. They are a better team, and they're playing just as well, if not better. In their last 10, they're 8-2. Cavaliers are 7-3, still playing very well. but I like the Celtics more. And like I said, I have the OKC Thunder very much on their level, and they are right neck and neck for the number 1 spot. And I would have put them number 1 if they had won tonight. They didn't win tonight, so they're not going to be at number 1. That's it. But they are at number 2. If you guys don't got anything to say about that, I do have the OKC Thunder at number 2.
I said everything that needed to be said from the last one on why I didn't have the Cavs as high, and I still don't. They're still not in my top 2. I love Boston. I love Jaylen Brown, but as long as Jason Tatum's an active player, Boston will never be in my top 2. I mean, maybe that's just what it's going to boil down to. As long as he's active, Celtics aren't a top 2 team. My number 2 team, I'm going to take the other team in the East that has a better record, that got off to a better start than they did, who was number 1 last time. I'm going to take the Cleveland Cavaliers, 25 games, 5 losses. What's their record? 23
and 4. Celtics are 21 and 5.
It's a game better than Boston, so that's going to give them the nudge to me. And I mean, did they beat a depleted Boston team because they didn't have their MVP, Jaylen Brown? Yes, you make a fantastic point. Jaylen Brown changes that game. If Jason Tatum's so good, I mean, he should have been able to win that game without his pieces. I mean, if you flip the tables, Jaylen Brown plays, Jason Tatum doesn't. I'm sure Boston comes out on top, and they might be sitting there at number 2. But
really?
That wasn't the reality.
So do you want to?
Situation.
Is the reality of the situation last time that they played? Okay, when the Celtics won. And they had a full team. Yes. Jason Tatum scored 33, the leading scorer for the Celtics. Jaylen Brown scored 17.
Of how many shot attempts?
I don't know.
That is important.
I can score 33 if you give me 33 shot attempts.
Oh my God.
I can get at least half of those to go. I can get at least half of those to go down.
Yeah, give me 40 shot attempts. I think I can get you 33 too.
What I wanted to mention, though, and the reason why I still have Boston as the number 1 team in the East, you look at the strength of schedule. Cleveland has had the easiest strength of schedule in the entire league. I understand you play the teams that are in front of you. I understand that, but I think that that's relevant.
I mean, one of their wins is Boston.
The easiest in the entire league, yes.
30 out of 30.
30 out of 30, yes. Easiest, deadass easiest in the league. Second easiest is Indiana. Third easiest is Memphis.
Well, the Pacers just suck then. Golly.
Exactly. So it's not always a guarantee that, you're facing the easiest schedule that you're actually taking care of business, because they are the 8th seed. They might get even worse if this is the easy part of their schedule.
For number 2, I have the Boston Celtics. I do have the Boston Celtics. I do have the Boston Celtics. Part of what Arman talked about in the matchups and them beating them when they had their whole team versus not when they were injured or depleted. I think that kind of put an edge over the Cleveland Cavaliers, which a lot of us probably knew, but I wanted to give Cleveland the benefit of the doubt, because if you're undefeated, you should be number 1. I mean, it's just really that simple. But since those matchups, I think I would have to put the edge for the defending champions. But much like you said, Zach, that's why they stacked the deck in Tatum's favor and have all these players, because Tatum cannot carry you to a win 7 times out of 10.
7 times out of 10. Okay, I got the box score. 33 points, 50% from the field. So 33 points, 22 field goal attempts. It's not like the most efficient, but it's not bad. By the way, Jaylen Brown, 17 points on 17 shot attempts. So I don't want to hear it.
Okay. All right. You caught him on a down night. I mean, it all makes sense. I'll put it to bed that I'm not a certified Boston hater, because at 3, I do have the Boston Celtics. I think they've earned enough respect to be in my top 4 this time around. However, everything I said, I still stand by. If Jaylen Brown was, if people would actually just switch over to Jaylen Brown being the go-to guy, they might be 27-0, 26-0. But they won't do it yet, so that's why they're sitting here at number 3.
Well, is Jaylen Brown paying you off? Are you on his payroll or something? Is that what this is?
Nah.
I think that's what you must be on Jaylen Brown's payroll.
I just watched the NBA Finals. That's all it took.
Okay. Why don't you watch the game where the Celtics and Cavaliers play? The team you have above them. Why don't you actually watch that game and then tell me what you think then?
I was probably too busy wiping my tears as KD sat on the bench and we lost another game.
He just always has to fit the Suns in somehow.
I was too busy watching
always.
Phoenix. I can't watch everybody.
I mean, that's true. That's true.
Number 3 for me, I have Cleveland Cavaliers. They're on a hot streak. Are they maybe taking advantage of some punitive matchups? Maybe. But are they winning games? Yes. And that, at the end of the day, is what matters. They don't make their schedule. They just have to go out and win, and that's what they've been doing. I like the system they have. I think Garland finally is kind of finding his stride. Same with Mobley hitting threes, y'all. Mobley is hitting threes. And his shot looked really suspect last season, to the point where people were saying if he doesn't develop a shot soon, he will be a bust. So I'm glad he's, starting to develop that shot and is actually being an offensive weapon.
I have Cleveland number 3 as well. So our top 3 are a little mismatched, but they are all the same. The top 3, we all have Boston, we have Cleveland, and we have OKC. Like Cam said, the development of Mobley has really changed the complexion of this team. And, you don't make your schedule, so they're beating the teams that are put in front of them. And again, the top 3 are, and I honestly think we'll get to number 4. There's, to me, like a definitive top 5 right now in terms of the power rankings to me. So I really think especially these top 3 are very close. So I'm not too mad about any mixing around or anything like that. But yeah, with the development of Mobley, it's a scary sight to see that this Cleveland team is legitimately not just a team that's a regular season good team, but this is legitimately, I think, a contender. But my number 4, like I said, to me, I think there is a definitive top 5, if not, again, very switched up in the order, but there's a definitive top 5 to me, and one of the teams that I think has to be in the top 5 based on the way that they've been playing is the Memphis Grizzlies. I think the Memphis Grizzlies have to be in there based on the way that they're playing. They're second in the West right now. They're 8-2 in their last 10. I do think part of it is, again, a little bit of an easy schedule, but again, like you guys talked about, you can't really punish a team for the players or the teams that they're beating. They're beating the teams that are in front of them. And what I really like about this team is how deep that they are. This is not like a 7-man rotation. This is like a very deep rotation. So I like them a lot. This is like at least 10 men deep. And Zach Edey looks good, like solid for a rookie. And obviously John Morant is a superstar. I really like the Grizzlies. That might be a little higher than you guys have them. But in terms of recency, in terms of a power ranking of the last like 10 or 15 games, however you guys are judging it, to me, I think they have to be up there.
It's funny you mention, their ability to string together some games, the depth, all of those things. And then I know you said it matters if the team beats you, right? It's almost like the Houston Rockets have just as deep of a team and beat Memphis, I think, in their matchup this year. So because of that, I feel like the Houston Rockets have to be number 4. We got the Terror Twins. We got Şengün, top 5 big men. He be Jalen Green's a bum. Fred VanVleet's been pretty good. Been doing his thing, playmaking.
Whoa.
He's been a little.
Just take that right there, and I want you to cut back. It's not gonna be hard to find. When we did the draft picks, and Cam referred to him, and I quote, "Baby Daddy Green." Give me 2021 Cade Cunningham.
There you go.
It should have been Baby Daddy Green.
Yo, verbatim is what he called him, and now he's a bum.
I do remember that. He's also your leading scorer, by the way.
Okay.
You gave Fred VanVleet flowers before you gave Jalen Green?
It's about expectations, man. It's about expectations, man.
Okay, now let's talk about expectations. This is the first year Jabari Smith has lived up to the 3rd overall pick. Let's talk about
like what his 3rd season.
Also, can we
correct
for a second? Can we go back to the fact that Rockets to beat the Grizzlies? That was October 25th. It's December 17th, man. This is a power ranking, not like this is not a standing. Yes, head to head. Sure, if this was the AP poll for college football, yeah, I'd have them over them. That was 2 months ago, man.
We're what? We're like a game separated. Yes.
Yeah, it's like a game separation for sure.
Oh, okay. What other teams are a game separated that you put above the other team?
Okay, that's fair. That's why I'm not like super mad at it. But it's like you were upset at my ranking of them over the Rockets. I'm justifying it. That's all.
I'm not upset. I'm just saying. Man.
I think you're a little upset.
I'm just saying, man.
I'm just saying they're 8-2 in their last 10. You're 6-4.
And we've also faced the OKC Thunder and like several other elite teams. So
yeah, real elite teams like the Kings, right?
Probably better than who the Grizzlies been facing.
What about the Trailblazers? You lost to the Trailblazers, right?
They're up and coming.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, for sure. No, for sure.
Anyways, I do agree with one of you guys at my number 4 pick. And typically I always say that I hate to agree with Cameron, but I don't agree with him in this case because at number 4, I also have the Memphis Grizzlies. I mean, Arman said everything right. They went on a 11-game series, 10 wins, 1 loss. They're top 5 in offensive and defensive rating. They're number 1 in pace. Ja has become Ja again. He finally put the guns down and focus on basketball, and I love to see it. I'm glad to see that he is sober and healthy and sticking
sober from the guns.
I'm glad to see
sober for what?
Sober for what? Enjoy this YouTube. This is YouTube exclusive here. This is not touching TikTok.
His full attention is turned to basketball, and this is what we knew he could do. Now, if this is the expectations of a number 2 pick, then yes, you're right. Jalen Green can kick rocks because he's not doing what John Moran is doing. However, I still think Jalen Green deserves his flowers. But I do have Memphis. And as much as I love Santi Aldama, deep is a stretch, but their bench is nice. Deep is like, it's a reach, you know? Like, there's guys that you mentioned that are good. They're solid role players, but I don't know about deep, but they have been playing fantastic.
That's really all I mean. I'm not talking like Boston Celtics deep, but I'm talking like they have like 10, 11, 12 like players that you can play. Like you can't say that about every team. Like you look at the Lakers, there's not 8 guys, there's not 9 guys that you can play and feel good about it.
Oh, leave Max Christie out of this, bro. What did he do to you? This is not his fault.
I like Max Christie. But come on. Like, brother, it's when when the Jackson Hayes minutes are there. Come on, let's stop.
I think you said it right, Arman, about having a clear cut at the top 5. I don't know if this is going to be your 5th, but not too far behind. I said it once and I'll say it again. One of the most exciting teams to watch in the NBA have been and will continue to be, as long as they're on the run, is the Houston Rockets, who I have right below Memphis at 5.
And like I said, this is why I don't think there's going to be a ton of controversy in our top 5 because I think there's a clear cut top 5 in the power rankings right now. I have the Houston Rockets number 5 as well. So that was the thing. I just wanted to see if that's true, and we're going to still have to see if Cam has the Grizzlies at number 5. But to me, I thought there was a clear top 5, and so far we've been sticking to it.
I think there's some teams you really have to dial in on. You have to watch basketball. My number 5 is the Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay, bro. You don't got to do this. You don't got to do this. This is why I wore a Pistons jersey for your ass, because the Heat lost to them. I don't feel bad anymore about wearing the Pistons jersey.
Couldn't even get through it.
Oh man.
He couldn't even finish it.
I'm sorry I had to. I'm sorry, man. It was too easy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
We're an easy target right now. I get it.
Yeah, like you guys said, they've been putting it together, and it's showing in the win column for the last 10 games. One thing that I think is really interesting that I noticed and did some research on, the Memphis Grizzlies.
So are the Grizzlies your number 5?
Number 5 is the Memphis Grizzlies. The Memphis Grizzlies, a stat I want you guys to hear, they averaged the least amount of pick and rolls per 100 possessions in the entire NBA.
Really?
I mean, that makes sense with the
Yes.
pace of play thing. That does make sense.
Yes.
Yeah, but you have an explosive guard and Triple J.
So the way they run their offense is it's like a shell offense. So they will dribble at players and they'll relocate and cut. So it's like this constant merry-go-round of players cutting. So if you cut baseline, this guy, he relocates, the guy on the wing cuts down, and they'll dump it down to the guy cutting down, and then they'll collapse, and then they'll put. It's like the perfect 5-out constant cutting offense.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really unique, but it's kind of weird, especially with teams, who rely on the pick and roll so heavily now. For a team to be a second in the West and not be running them is impressive.
Yeah,
but
we'll see if it holds up. But I think that adds an interesting wrinkle to teams not knowing how to really defend that. They're not used to defending that on a night-to-night basis. They're used to 40% or plus having to defend a pick and roll. That's what they're used to. So I think that adds something to it. Or maybe the better teams in the league or the better coaches going to be able to adapt? Maybe, but they're going to have to adapt. So as of right now, no one has.
And we know JJ Redick won't do it, so
okay,
we can count the Lakers out on that.
All right.
JJ Redick only knows about screen setting and popping and getting open for threes.
Yeah, that's all his career was. Yeah.
Yep.
Had to hop on the hate bandwagon, huh, Zach?
Oh yeah, I couldn't go without doing it.
Why is it my team every time? It has to be mine. I don't even direct any hate towards the Suns at all.
That's a lie. You leave the Suns out of everything top 10 that we've ever done.
They were in it last time. What are you talking about?
Oh, we're not in it this time.
You better not be. Better not be. At number 6, I don't have the Phoenix Suns. I hope you don't have it. Oh my god! I know, shocking. I know.
Wait. But can we just take with KD Suns as one team and then without as the other? And just count out all those.
No, sorry, no. You're a team.
Well, we're on a 2-game win streak right now.
Wow. Maybe if you guys make a trade that some are rumored to be, maybe you'll go up in the power rankings. We'll see.
Hey man, I heard a certain dreadhead once out of Miami. I don't know. We'll see.
The Phoenix Buns ain't getting Jimmy Butler. I'm telling you right now.
Hey man, Brad Beal would look real good in a Miami Heat jersey. I'm just saying, bro, he's yours.
I heard a certain Miami team's only half a game back of you now. Yeah, so I don't know how much of a better situation it is. At number 6, I have another team in the West, the Dallas Mavericks. I don't know why you're shaking your head at that. What's the problem?
I think hell is frozen over.
Oh, okay. I see. So go ahead.
I'm looking for an explanation to fall out of the sky. I've been listening to Arman talk for way too long because it's starting to seep into the depths of my brain.
Obviously.
Oh my goodness. This is bad. This is really bad. We can't let this happen. Hold on. You guys go ahead. I have some reordering to
Just
do.
You get it out. Go. Come on.
I will let you explain why, but I also have Dallas Mavericks as my number 6 seed as well.
There we go, man. I don't think there's much explanation needed. I mean, they are getting back to what we saw from them last season towards the end of the season and into the playoffs. Yes, maybe heavily reliant on Luka Doncic. Are there still defensive questions about him? Absolutely, there still are. That kind of rears its head in the bigger games against the tougher opponents like the OKC Thunder, which is why the Thunder are above them. But again, they have to be top 10 with how they're performing, with having a Luka Doncic and a Kyrie Irving who is having a very efficient year, by the way. Incredibly efficient year, which is not something that I expected from him to be capable of turning into a number 2 player in the way that he left Cleveland to become a number 1 player. He's finally said okay, I can be a number 2 player. I can be a part of a team. And not just be a part of a team, but be efficient in that role that he's in, which I really love.
I think it was a wake-up call And I think Kyrie had to take a good look in the mirror and realize the only time that he's ever won an NBA championship was as the number 2 option. So I'm sure losing in the finals last year might have had something to do with that, but I mean, I can't say anything more than you said. I also like the fact that, what is it, 13 or their 17 or last 17 have been on the road or something like that. It's been a lot of travel for Dallas, and they've handled it relatively easily. Now they get some time off, and then they'll have 4 games at home. If you can win on the road, all you got to do is take care of them. You'll be in a nice spot. But they are heavily relying on Luka. We saw that in the Thunder game where the Thunder kind of put them on clamps. But then you have a game like Mavericks and Warriors where Luka had 45 and whatever. So it just comes down to whether or not he's going to be able to score. But if he does, which he usually does, you're in a good spot.
For my number 6, I have the Dallas Mavericks.
Okay.
I have the Dallas Mavericks. Yes.
Hey, you should have jumped in when we were saying we could have made it. We three-peated here. That's one of the few times where we've all agreed on the same spot.
I know, it's disgusting, isn't it?
Why is that disgusting? We're on the same wavelength.
I told you. I tried to reorder. I tried to reorder. He said no.
Why do you guys not want cohesion? What's the problem?
I told you, nobody wants to hear honest opinions.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, so I'm going to see on the YouTube, people are just going to skip over this. I see. Okay. I think
they're all agreeing. Skip right now.
Get to the part where get to the part where they're all yelling at each other.
They need to be yelling. They're good, and I think a big underrated pickup has been Quentin Grimes. Like, he's been really great for them and played a strong role, kind of replacing Josh Green. So I think he's pretty nice.
And I think that's a sign of like a good organization is like losing pieces and being able to recover them. And I think something I want to go back to, and something I think very much you were right, Cam, and I was very much not considering enough, was with my ranking of the Nuggets and with how depleted the roster had gotten beyond Jokic. And I think this is the difference between a good organization and a bad organization, or just an average organization, is being able to replace that talent when you lose it as soon as you lose it. Denver hasn't been able to do that, which is why they're struggling, and Dallas has been able to do that. Just with these marginal replacements, like a Quentin Grimes to replace a role player like Green. So I think it was a good point that you made, and I should have considered more last time in the last power rankings.
You're welcome.
Quentin Grimes is okay. I'm not I don't hate Quentin Grimes, but honestly, I feel like Dallas has just kind of done this for the last couple of years. I mean, PJ Washington turned into an all-elite defender in the finals. So did Daniel Gafford. So, I mean, Maxi Kleber when he's healthy. Like, these dudes are just going crazy. I think Dallas is a perfect scheme for guys to flourish as role players because so much attention is drawn to Luka and then now to Kyrie, and then could be Klay Thompson depending on which one shows up that day. But it just gives you a lot of free range to go crazy. And I mean, you just see the flourishment of that.
My number 7 is a team many people had some pretty lofty expectations for, and I think they're starting to kind of equalize and come back to earth of where they're more so around should be. But they haven't been as great as we've wanted them to. For my number 7, I have...
No way. I don't think it's who you're thinking.
It's the New York Knicks.
Okay,
it is who I'm thinking.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I
thought I was talking about the Timberwolves.
Okay, well, I thought he was thinking that you were thinking of the Miami Heat. I thought he was thinking you were gonna put the Heat here. But yeah, Zach, what's the problem?
I need to reorder, bro.
Oh, because you have him there too. Is that what it is?
Come on, bro.
This is good. This means we're watching ball. Okay, relax. Zach, why do you like the Knicks?
As soon as he said lofty expectations, I knew it was gonna be New York, bro. As soon as he said that, I love Jalen Brunson as a player. Obviously, you know how I feel about Mikal Bridges. I mean, I think it more so is just how bad they started. They weren't even in the conversation, as were the rest of the East, to be fair. in our first power rankings, there really wasn't a lot of Eastern teams. But New
There's only
York was
two.
kind of that team that we talked about. Yeah. New York was one of those teams we talked about of, well, we expected them to be somewhat decent, and now they have, what are they, third in the East now?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they're just starting to click. Mikhail just getting his jump shot back. Thank God. I don't know who tried to change it, but they deserve to be fired.
Probably were, to be honest.
Yeah. But I mean, Cat's fitting right in like we knew they would. They're a very, very great floor spacing team, which when you have the best shooting center in NBA history, you can do that. And it's working out. New York's breezing past teams, but the reason they're not higher is because they are kind of streaky. They'll beat the teams that they should, and then they'll lose the one that they should have beat, and then they'll beat one that they shouldn't. It's just kind of up and down, but the way they've been playing in the last 10, 12 games has been the New York that we expected.
With the trade with the Knicks and the Timberwolves for Cat and then Randall and then DiVincenzo thrown in there as well, there's been the conversation is that both teams kind of split their identities in a way, and that's a lot of the criticism that they got. The Timberwolves really haven't recovered that identity. The Knicks have kind of created a new one in a way, and that's building a lot around Cat. And I know Brunson is averaging slightly more points per game. Right now it's 25 points per game for Brunson, 24.8 for Cat, which is crazy. I think Cat's like, do I expect him to stay in MVP conversations for the rest of the season? No. But as of right now, I don't think you can leave him out of it the way that he's going. At least, I'm not saying he's first place, second place, third place right now. But getting like a third place vote right now, I wouldn't hate just the way that he's turned around the season. Yeah, I mean, you can think otherwise, but 24.8 with 14 rebounds per game, that's pretty good, bro.
MVP voting, if you're not averaging 36 or a triple-double, you can just kiss it goodbye at this point. Like, you literally have to do that now. That's kind of the precedent. That the standard has been set now with Jokic winning it 3 times. So sure. I don't foresee Cat doing that. I mean, if it was like 2007, he would win the MVP.
Again, I'm not saying he's going to be first place in voting right now. Well, all I'm saying is he's getting consideration for like a third place, fourth place vote right now, which is not something I think anybody would have expected at the start of the season. That's all. I just want to give him some love. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it.
But I'm not going to give him as much love as you guys because this is the change that I made to my rankings. Another change post this NBA Cup game. About half an hour ago, I had the Knicks in the same spot, and we would have had a streak of 4 in a row agreeing together, Zach. That would have been crazy. We were on a streak of 3, but I dropped them 1 ranking, which does mean that they're at my 8. But at number 7, I have, because of the result of the NBA Cup, I have the Milwaukee Bucks. They've been on fire in the last 10 games. I know their record does not stack up to the Knicks, but if we're just talking about power rankings, they've been playing almost as well as not anybody, but almost anybody the last 10 games. And to win the NBA Cup, that's not really what I'm moved by. It's just the way that the teams that they've beat on the path, for sure. They just beat OKC, which is your guys' number 1 team, so I think that has to mean something. Being 8-2 in your last 10, really starting to click chemistry-wise, I'm hard-pressed to leave them that low.
I can't be mad at that. I think Milwaukee definitely has started to figure things out, especially after that abysmal. They started like 2-9, I think.
Yes, yeah.
2-9. Now they're 14-11. So that's like a 12-2 streak since then. So I think that's pretty impressive. And, I think you're finally having a team that's getting some chemistry, that's leveling out back to what they're supposed to look like. But I don't have them at my number 8.
What? Okay. That's a little crazy to me.
Don't you dare.
You both hold on. You both don't have them at number 8.
Milwaukee at 8.
What? That okay? We gotta before
then we have the same 8, bro. We have the same.
Before
8.
you,
Stupid.
Before we get to that, I feel like that's disrespectful to the Bucks. They only have lost 3 times in the last 16 games. I feel like in terms of a power ranking, who is the best teams at the current moment? A team that has won 13 of their last 16, I don't feel like that team can be outside of your guys' top 8. I'm not even saying they have to be top 5. I'm saying top 8.
Well, they're outside of mine.
Okay,
they're outside of mine.
Go ahead. Who's your 8th?
You want to count it off and see if we have the same one?
Wait, is it East or West?
East.
Oh, then we don't have the same 8.
Who is yours, Zach?
Mine may come as a little shock. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. As much as I want to say the Phoenix Suns, I don't disagree. I wouldn't be upset if these two were to swap 8, 9, interchange them as much as you want. I kind of feel that way from 7 through 10, honestly, that you can take and pick as you want. My number 8, I have the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the reason why I have them at 8, kind of like the Knicks, a little bit less extreme as far as a transition, but the Wolves jump from 12 to as high as 7. I think the West is tougher than the East. I will always stand on that. But I think New York just did it at a little bit of a more efficient level, which is why I gave them the nod. But at the same time, I think the Timberwolves kind of did the same thing in the same sense, but it wasn't because of their offense. I think their offense has kind of struggled outside of Naz Reid hasn't been looking too good. DiVincenzo's been in a little slump. Mike Conley's been looking like he needs retirement, but their defense has been insane, and that's the reason why they've been winning the games that they have. It's not because they've been drastically outscoring teams. Their defense has just been very, very good. I do think the offense will come, so that kind of takes in the power ranking mixed with Arman's looking at the future-ish kind of aspect of it, of where I think they will be and are. I think the offense will come. They're just in shooting slumps, but their defense has been phenomenal. All they need to do is start hitting a couple more shots. I don't see them being outside the top 5 in the West for very long. So that's why I have Minnesota at 8.
I will say you are right about their defense, absolutely, because in their last 7 games, 6 out of 7 games, they've held their opponent under 100 points. Under 95, actually.
Wow.
Held the Lakers to 80 and then 87. Held the Warriors to 90. Held the Spurs to 92 and Clippers to 92. Oh, and then Clippers again to 80. Yeah, their defense has been crazy for sure. I'm not debating that. And I will give you credit. The West is absolutely better than the East, even though the East's record has started to bounce up a little because they've been playing each other. But in interconference games, head-to-head, East versus West, the West is 57-42. So the West is clearly better than the East, for sure.
Wow. So this is the first time we're really gonna deviate. This is interesting. I might get crucified for this pick. I might.
Oh, God. Oh,
I might.
God, I know who he's about to say. Oh, no.
You bet not.
My number 8, Florida team.
Okay. Yes.
Oh, he's not.
The Orlando Magic.
Yeah, you made it too obvious saying the Florida team. I knew once you said that.
Once you said Florida team, I was like, oh, he's not gonna.
Yeah.
Orlando Magic.
And I don't hate that pick because I already said earlier the Knicks are my number 8. I don't hate that pick because the Orlando Magic are my number 9. So I really like that. They're 17-11. They've come on strong. Last 2 games have struggled a little bit. They've lost their last 2 games, but I don't think that's that doesn't move me enough to move them out of the 9 spot. But those last 2 games made it pretty clear that this is where they should be because they lost to the Bucks and the Knicks, who are directly above them. So that kind of solidified that number 9 is their ceiling because of where the Knicks and the Bucks are in my rankings.
And I think a big part of this that we have to acknowledge is they've had significant time without their best player, and then they recently had their second best player get injured, and they're still fighting. They're still competing at a high level, which is extremely impressive. And, when they have their core back, they're going to be a really hard team to beat. Because of their ability to keep it all together, that's kind of what led me to be number 8 for them and give them that spot. So
that's fair. I guess to me, I was still ranking them off of like what they are now, which is without those players. But when those players come back, if the other guys continue to contribute at the way that they are, and then those guys come back, hey, there's no reason that they can't play their way into the top 5.
I don't hate that at all. I don't hate that at all. Losing Franz is going to hurt more than they want it to. But I also think, when Banchero went down, it's kind of like, all right, well, your number one guy's gone. And then Franz stepped up and took over. So I honestly, I could see him, if the Magic didn't already give him the bag, I could see him as the number one option on a different team, which is, he's not flashy, but he's very solid.
Well, that's the thing. What are we talking about? Number one option, like just being the scorer, or being like the number one option on a contender?
On a playoff team.
Playoff team? Okay, I could see that. Playoff
I can see
team.
that.
I don't know about like championship contender, but playoff team, yeah, I could see that.
Nah, he's not superstar status.
Yeah, no.
And I mean, you guys said everything that needs to be said, but at my number 9, I do not have the Orlando Magic. I have the Milwaukee Bucks. Okay, I think you said everything there was to say. What was it, 13 in their last 16? But they started the season 2-8. Yep. I mean, literally kind of like last year's Lakers winning the NBA Cup, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is gonna, oh my God, they're gonna be so good." So hopefully Milwaukee can break the NBA Cup curse that existed from Arman's Lakers, who were absolute dog water after that.
Still made the playoffs.
Dog water. But Milwaukee is turning it around. But we knew that, kind of like we said when we did our over-under on wins and losses through the season. I forgot what Milwaukee's line was, but it was lower than it needed to be. I think it was like 3 more wins than last season.
I can't remember, honestly.
Plus they got I think the points we made were you get a full off season to Dame and Giannis, let it click. Did not click for the first 10, but I mean, you go from 2-8 to NBA Cup champs. Sky's the limit for Milwaukee, and I don't want to see them ever again in the playoffs. I'm scarred for life.
I would be. That was your one chance, man. That was your one chance.
I know. We were up 2-0.
I know.
And nobody told us what's there to be happy about.
Tim, what's your number 9?
Well, yeah, my number 9, it is the Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay.
For the reasons you guys listed, I put them at number 9. It's just, they started out so bad, like so bad. I do think they're more looking like the team they're going to be for the future. I still think they have a lot of questions that haven't been answered, and it'll be interesting to see how they look going forward. But I do think they've made a big run, and that's why I squeezed them into number 9.
Skeet it on.
No.
They skeet it on.
That's your favorite phrase, man. What are you talking about? That's your favorite.
Shout out the Mayo Clinic.
No Mayo.
No one saw that.
Mayo.
No one saw that shit. It got fucking nuked on the platform. If you guys haven't seen it, there's a reason why it got. No one wanted, the platforms didn't want to push it, so you're gonna have to seek it out yourself if you want to get that reference. It's a deep cut worst take lore right there.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna put them in 9.
Okay.
Put them in the top 10. Give them a respect.
I still think
see where it goes from here.
I still think that's a little low for a team that's been as hot as they've been. I know there's question marks about them for sure, but I think there's question marks about a lot of teams. I mean, there's question marks about the Magic. How good are they going to be, and the fit going to be once their players come back? Is the progression, like the consistency, going to be the same? You never know. There's questions about every team. I don't think those questions are enough to push them down to number 9 all the way, especially with how hot they've been. But it's just my opinion. At number 10, again, we'll see if our lists are the exact same top 10 reordered here, Zach. But it's possible, because my number 10 is the Minnesota Timberwolves. A little bit lower than you had them, but I still do have them because of that stifling defense on the list. I think that deserves to put them on the list for sure. When you have a defense like that and a superstar like they do, borderline superstar. Well, I know, Zach, I know how you feel. I know how you feel about him, but I think that makes you a top 10 team. So I have them here at number 10. Zach, why do you hate him so much? You want to explain for everybody?
I don't hate him.
You do, though. You do.
Hate him.
Which is why I'm surprised you put him so high, honestly.
I do not hate him. I think Anthony Edwards is a fantastic basketball player.
And he's better than Booker. He's better than Booker.
He's
I
better than
will
Booker.
never give him that. So you're not going to get an argument out of me. I will never, ever give him that. But he sought out to do what he wanted to do. He sent us packing. Round 1, 2. What round was that? Round 2? Swept us. So he earned my respect. I think he's a fantastic basketball player. I just said he's overrated in the aspect of people already treating him and verbatim, and I will say it again, like he's the second coming of Jesus. He's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not, I wasn't quick to jump on the train. I wouldn't say I'm on the train now, but I'm watching it pass. You know, I'm not like, I didn't turn, my back was turned to it. Now I've turned around and I'm looking at it, but I'm not on it yet. So there's a little more that I need to see.
Was the 40% from 3 in elite defense not enough to convince you
It's
that
a fantastic season. It's a fantastic season. I just need to see it year after year after year. D-Book's been doing this 10 years, dog. You know, I need to see that.
Yeah, and he's lost his spot. He's on his way out. By the way, I'm not letting you slide with this. Second round. Y'all didn't make the second round. Y'all didn't win a playoff game last year. I'm not letting you slide with this.
Oh, was it round 1?
It was round 1. You didn't win a playoff game.
It definitely was round 1. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
D-Book number 1 shooting guard in the league didn't win a playoff game, but you know.
Hey, your GOAT KD didn't either, bro. Go ahead and lump him into that one.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
Book.
Yeah,
Durant was there too.
Yeah, Book had Kevin Durant by his side. Couldn't win a playoff game. You're right. Yeah.
You know, it's a new year, new us. When KD's healthy.
Yeah, when KD's healthy. You hear yourself right now, right? It was when KD was healthy.
Hear it.
Not when Book was healthy.
Correct.
When KD was healthy. Okay.
I think Mike Budenholzer might be the worst thing that's happened to Devin Booker's career. However, as far as the Suns, our offense is solely centered around Kevin Durant. So it's not, I mean, I think Book's an elite scorer? Yes, but he's not on Kevin Durant level. So the offense that you're basing cannot work if you're wanting Devin Booker to take Kevin Durant-esque shots. And it hasn't. You can see that when Durant is out. But when Durant is playing, I do think we're a top 10 team, which brings me to number 10.
No.
It's not the
He's
Phoenix.
It's
not.
Okay. Yeah, he's phone faking. He's phone faking.
It's not. My number 10. As much as I want to say, if we did a top 15, I think the Suns skied on there somehow. But number 10 solidified. We are going to have, at least me and Arman will, same 10 reordered because my 10 is the Orlando Magic.
Okay, bro. Wow, this is crazy. Look at us. Who would have thought?
Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
For the same reasons why I said for the Knicks, same reasons we said for the Magic. It's going to hurt. I don't know if when we do this from 3 weeks, a month from now, if we see them on here, losing Franz is going to hurt. But for the time being, we'll see what Moritz Wagner got, man. I mean, we'll see what he learned as a Laker because he's going to have to take over. Yeah. It's Jalen Suggs' team now.
I think last game he went off, didn't he?
What's going off for Mo? 14-6?
Try 32.
Mo had 32?
32. They lost the game to the Knicks, but he had 32.
Cat really can't play defense. God dang.
Hey, I'm still waiting for I'm waiting on the Goga Batadze breakout.
Hey, 12.
We've been waiting a long time, buddy.
12 and 14 against the Bucks for Gogo.
Hey, I mean, looking back on it, who's had the better career so far, him or Zion? I'm just asking.
Hey, I mean, that's a legitimate question now, man.
I mean,
if you're the Pelicans, if you're the Pelicans, which player would you rather have right now?
The player who's gonna play.
Exactly.
Player's gonna play.
Yeah, exactly.
Best ability is availability.
I've really liked our sync. You know, we've been kind of on the same page, but unfortunately, this is where we deviate.
Really,
a little bit. Yes.
Who is he not said yet? No Timberwolves, right?
I know Miami's not better than the Timberwolves. Don't do this to yourself.
Stop this.
Miami's not better than the Timberwolves. Don't even try it.
You guys are gonna be surprised. I talk a lot of shit about this. Well, I talked a lot of shit about this team, and rightfully so. They got a lot of issues, but they also have a reigning multiple-time MVP, and because of that, I have to put the Denver Nuggets.
The Denver Nuggets. Oh, Cam, we were so good. We were so good with this whole video. We were so good. You literally, but I don't even know that we need to respond. I'm gonna put you against you from last episode. That's the only thing that I need for this is you from last episode explaining why my ranking was bad.
They've lost a lot of their shooting and a lot of their depth. They're depending on Christian Brown, Peyton Watson, and Julian Strother to make up the losses they have. The games that Jokic doesn't put up a 40-point triple-double, they're not going to win the game.
You want to hear why Denver's not top 10?
Mm-hmm.
The Nuggets have won 2 straight games for the first time in more than a month. Buddy, they didn't win back-to-back. They didn't win back-to-back for 5 weeks.
Yeah, more importantly, they lost to the Wizards a week ago.
That's bad.
10 days ago, they lost to the Washington Wizards, who, what was their losing streak? 16. I believe 16 straight losses.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. And Jokic dropped 50 and they still lost.
Dropped 50 and they still lost, which is the microcosm of why this team is not top 10 and why this team is bad. Exactly what you said last time, Cam. They have no depth. They're relying on dudes like Julian Strother to be their scorers, their complementary scorers to Jokic, and that's not a recipe for a good team. I know they've won 3 in a row. This is not a top 10 team, and I think you know it.
To be fair, Russ has been way better than I thought he was going to be. I do have to give Russ his flowers. I did not think he was going to be somewhat decent. He's been very, very good.
He has contributed pretty well. Call me crazy. I think they're going to build some continuity the past couple of games. I think they're meshing a lot better. Jamal Murray just had that game winner. I think their identity this season has been very far from what it usually is, especially like aside from depth. Jamal Murray has been horrendous. He's been so bad. So while it may seem like I'm kind of going against my point is
You're literally arguing against yourself.
No, you're not kind of. You're not kind of. You 1,000% are going against your own
I know. But Jamal Murray is starting to play a lot better, and I think we're going to see them be a lot better. I think the last couple games is reminiscent of what we're gonna see.
Who's projecting now, huh? Who's projecting now? Whoa!
Not only is he going against his depth argument, now he's going against his projection.
I just think this ranking is kind of funny because you mentioned the way the team's gonna play towards the future with the Suns, but you don't mention that with the Nuggets.
This is the thing. I don't think they're gonna drop out of the sky simply because they have Nikola Jokic. He's not gonna let them. He's gonna play them into games that otherwise they wouldn't be winning. But they're not a top 10 team still. They're still not playing like a top 10 team now. I don't think that this team is changing going forward unless Jamal Murray has a resurgence. And even then, maybe they're borderline 10. Right now, no chance.
You make a good point about Jokic not letting them drop, but he dropped 50 and lost to the Wizards. I mean, imagine that's any other team. There's 20, besides the Nuggets, and obviously the Wizards, any other team in that league, and you're still losing. That's the one team that you should have beat off of a 50 ball by yourself, and you didn't. That's scary.
Yeah, that should have been
terrifying.
That should have been a pure blowout, dude.
Am I kind of going against what I've said?
Yes.
Extremely.
Not kind of. Take the kind of out. Am I going against what I said? Yes.
But I think we're gonna look back at this and be like, okay, Cameron might have been right.
You had the chance. Miami would have been fine. I could have understood that.
Yeah, we would have argued against you, but yeah, I wouldn't have hated Miami, honestly.
I'm not mad at Miami as number 10. Yeah, that's fine.
I would have gave you Miami over the Timberwolves. I wouldn't have loved it, but I would have the Hawks as a more comparable option. I would have considered. Okay, no, not the Warriors. Definitely not the Warriors.
I forgot that Minnesota was not on his list, and he still took Denver.
That was the point.
That's
that was
crazy.
The whole thing. Minnesota was not mentioned on his list.
No. I would take the Warriors over the Nuggets.
No,
I'm not
no,
gonna lie
okay,
to
no,
you.
stop,
Yes,
stop,
yes,
stop.
yes.
They're 2-8.
If
They're
it wasn't
2.
for listen. As much as we talk good about the Rockets, if it wasn't for awful reffing, the Warriors would have been in the NBA Cup. That they should have been. They should have won that game. But I'm still taking
Shoulda,
Golden State
woulda,
over Denver.
coulda. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. They still lost.
You can't call a loose ball foul.
Loose
A
foul.
loose ball foul.
Loose bowel.
Loose ball.
A loose ball.
You pooping all over the floor, dude?
So I got loose balls.
You bro's a goose just pooping all over the floor uncontrollably, dude.
You can't call a loose ball foul
There you go.
75 feet away from the basket.
There's bad reffing for sure, but let's keep in mind that didn't happen in all 8 of their last 10 games that they've lost. The Warriors are 2-8 in their last 10. Right now, they're in a power ranking. They're not top 15 even.
That's where I have the Nuggets, right around there, somewhere in that vicinity.
Our lists were pretty comparable. Mine and Zach's list, the same exact teams in a different order. So pretty happy about that. Cam went 9 for 10 with a little bit of a surprise at the end for us there.
And that was after you called his list, the last list, the best. You said he had the best.
I
one,
did.
And he just threw it out the window.
I really thought he had the best list. And honestly, if he had put the Timberwolves, I would have thought like, okay, maybe there's a chance. Looking back, he had the best list. But now he put the Nuggets on there. He's dead last.
Automatic L.
Automatic L. That's all we got for this video. That's our top 10. Unless y'all want to do a bottom 1 real quick.
A worst team in the NBA?
Yeah. Bottom 1 power ranking right now. Yeah.
Do we all want to say it on 3 or?
The Washington Wizards.
Washington Wizards.
Oh, man. Quick number 2. 3, 2, 1. The New Orleans Pelicans. Okay.
Oh, I was gonna say the Trailblazers.
Oh no. The Pelicans without the Zion's not playing. They're 5-22. They're toast. They're chalked, bro.
I was gonna say the Trailblazers, but yeah.
They're so bad. They literally put up a fire sale for all their players. I think when you've offered up all your players in the middle of the season, that's how you know it's a dire emergency for your franchise.
Yeah, when you send the link to the yard sale to Shams for him to tweet out, yeah, that's when it's over. That's when it's over.
Yo, there's no Woj is gone, bro. Shams has to take over.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. When the tweet goes out to Shams, you not even the tweet. When you DM him, you text him, hey man, just put them all. He asks like who's available, who's not, who's not.
Everyone.
Yes. Yeah. We got a 15-year-old gardening set. We got a cracked vase. We got a dryer stand, but one of the legs is missing.
Who's the cracked vase?
Zion.
Nah, that's the dryer. That's Zion's not the dryer stand. Zion is the dryer. He's the washer and the dryer.
The refrigerator.
He's the sectional with the ass dent in it.
I think Brandon Ingram's like I think he's like a half-eaten Slim Jim.
And that's probably the best thing at the sale, bro.
Facts.
Anyways, that's our power rankings. That's our top 10 and our bottom 2 power rankings in the NBA today. And you know we'll continue to go. We'll continue to do this going forward. Next one might be. I'm trying to think the next like milestone. There'll be one between the trade deadline, and then we'll do one at the trade deadline, for sure. So I think that's what we're aiming for right now. But if you want to see that, the next power ranking video, make sure to hit that subscribe button to see when it comes out. If you want to check out our last power rankings video or any of our other content that we make a lot of other NBA trivia content. Make sure to check those videos out. Link to some of the videos will be here on your screen, and join our Discord if you want to be part of the community, join the conversation, and be contributing to some of our videos in the future. See you guys later. Bye.